Okay, so this one's gonna need a little bit of explanation. It's a bit complex, but I'm gonna try to make this as concise as humanly possible. Basically, it all started on my Discord server with the birth of the counting chat. Over time, we gradually counted our way up into the thousands, but that was mostly thanks to a guy named Luca89 on my server, and his relentless dedication to the count. At number 1429, he decided to test his luck and put an emoji behind every number, going throughout the list of emojis as he counted. In response, I created a new rule that allowed for messages in the counting chat as long as they followed the consecutive number in the chat. And that was my first mistake. My second was my idea to write historical facts behind every number corresponding to the year, starting with the Wright brothers' first successful air flights. Then in 1924 with US President Calvin Coolidge signing the Indian Citizenship Act, and 1926 with the first successful fuel rocket, and so on. And everything else that happened all the way throughout the years until we ran out of years. And then, the rest is history. At first, it was sort of just us joking around, not really knowing what we were doing. However, it did set up important plot details that would come into play later in the saga. In 2026, America splits into two separate countries. West America invaded Mexico in 2028, starting the Second Mexican-American War, and in 2029, the invention of time travel. Using their new time travel capabilities, they go back to 1932 and assassinate Hitler before he grows into power. And nukes are never invented. Of course, after Jesus is found and Russia takes over all of Asia and the Middle East, nuclear tensions begin between America 1 and 2 in 2033. A small plot hole, yes, but it's not all too important. 2034, Canada and Russia team up to stop the Americas before they kill each other and everyone else. 2035, ludicrously popular content creator Elkstra leaves America 2 to join America 1. Thank you, Elkstra. And 2036, every state becomes a country. Then there's a couple of years of relative peace before the world gets fucking deleted. Ah, foolish me. My naive self couldn't see the potential in my own inadvertent creation. It's okay though, a new Earth is created and some stuff happens, it's whatever, it's not important. But then Lucady, the powerhouse of the counting chat, comes back and decides to revert everything. In 2048, with the use of time travel, the split of America and subsequent deletion of the world never happened, and Earth is soon to reach a population of 10 billion. Then after another 8 or so years of basically nothing, definitely nothing, absolutely nothing happened here, in 2057 there's an alien attack on Earth that results in the unity of all nations. They send out 400 ships into the deep abyss of space, housing everyone on Earth. The ships join together, interlocking and forming one giant space station orbiting Mars, to both act as a new temporary home for all of humanity and to experiment with interdimensional portals to parallel universes. I don't know what I'm doing, actually. Like, there's a sense. I imagine it looks something like this, kind of. You get the idea. It's like it's like sent portal ships. They're like all like different. 2058, they managed to make contact with an anomalous parallel universe and trade resources. This alternate dimension provides the Mars orbital station with a new anomalous material that's easy to mold, lightweight, and hardens like steel. Using this new material and the resources available on the station, 200 of the 400 ships that make up the station land on Mars and begin a wonderful settlement. And in 2059, spoons are considered weapons. 2060, Remy Tosh, currently residing in the Mars Orbital Station, or MOS for short, subsection D27, kicks back in his chair on his porch and admires the view of Mars. In this time, the MOS attempts to open a portal to another parallel universe. 2061, the death of SpoonChase. While seemingly an inconspicuous event, the curse is released into the world once again. The world's time structure collapses as it did in 2001. Unknown to anyone, this creates an alternate universe where the curse doesn't manifest in an object until 2061. In this universe, the object is a dresser, history goes on as normal. Okay, so I got the SpoonChase to explain what the fuck any of that means. You wanna just...
Yeah, sure. All right. So basically, it's quite simple, really. So when I died, right, basically everything just falls apart because I'm a mysterious guy with mysterious powers. I'm a spoon. I'm an inanimate object, and I've been brought to life through unholy means. And so when I die, unholy energy demolishes everything. So you see, it's fine because in an alternate timeline that doesn't happen, right? Because that's multiverse theory and then yeah. Does that make sense?
Alright, fantastic. Moving on. In 2062, poop is illegalized. Thank you, Elkstra. 2063, the MOS finally manages to open another dimension and sends in 2 patrol ships. This alternate universe is not anomalous, but extremely technologically advanced. After 13 minutes within the new dimension, the MOS loses contact with the 2 patrol ships, and 5 minutes after that, the station receives a transmission from the immortalized body of Adolf Hitler, who threatens war. After some tense negotiations, the space Nazis launch a surprise attack on the Mars colony, and the first dimensional war begins. And then Boobtown is invented in 2064, led by Elkstra, libertarian leader, Poop Legal. And in 2066, probably my favorite year, where SpoonChase just gives us a miscellaneous pop culture events. Minecraft Java Edition is discontinued after 57 years. A band called 34 Finks blazes the trail for a new music genre called Plunderphonic Ultra Death Skrillcore Punk. The Minions get a 10th reboot as an action-adventure noir on Adult Swim. Many people flood to virtual reality city centers to protest the new First Dimensional War, starting the PADW movement, or the People Against Dimensional Warfare. 18th century fashion makes a resurgence, hell yeah. The kids are saying hip new words like draped, paddled, bunglawed, and nannered. The first interdimensional made film wins an Oscar titled Philinox Rose. Oh, and in 2067, Boobtown is thriving, and Boobtown contributes to dimensional warfare by throwing rocks in the sky. They're Amish, apparently, the Amish people of Boobtown. And then, right after that, Elkstra delivers a surprisingly well-written entry. In 2068, an interdimensional rift opens, revealing another species of human. This universe follows the same timeline, with a split in 2012 where multiple natural disasters occur, forcing them to strive for technological greatness. This other species, called Homo sapiens, ally with America 1, and in doing so, Boobtown, which is a plot hole, yes, America never split, but whatever. Basically, this means Boobtown has access to thousands of new technologies, but chooses to stay true to its Amish roots. 2069 is the true for 2069, and in 2070, at just 8 years old, the Dresser cursed object from earlier, named Dresser H. Walker, becomes a popular figure and a child prodigy. And, okay, before I talk about 2071, I wrote an entire transcript for the Dimensional War, but there's no way in hell I'm reading all of it, so here, if you want to pause, it's there, and I'll just give everyone a summary of the summary. So that's Mars. This is the portal, this central portal. So what happens is, space Nazis, they come in, they come out of the portal, and then the MOS closes the portal. They're kind of just like floating around and shit. And then space Nazis bomb the portal, permanently reopening it. So the space Nazis attack, MOS starts cracking Enigma 2, and then Operation Ra goes into effect. What happens is, all of these, the other 200 ships, because like all the other ships are like on the Mars colony and shit. The last 200 ships, well shit, they all break apart and they form like kind of a barrier around Mars, protecting from the space Nazis. And then the portal section is launched out into space, as far away from Mars as possible. So it's like out here now. Whatever. And then the Nazis come back with the fucking SS Wendenschneiden, which I just asked Spoon for like the most aggressively German name humanly possible, and that's fucking that. That's Commander Morris. He tries to negotiate with Super Hitler. And April Fools, another portal's opened by the space Nazis. I am so low right now. And through this new portal, the space Nazis unveil like U-boats, like space U-boats with cloaking technology, and they're like, then the MOS replicates that technology when they break Enigma, and that Enigma 2, and then the space. Okay, no, it's whatever. They won. They did it. They threw the Nazi dimension in the fucking sun. 2071, 6 years after the end of the war, tensions still continue between Mars colonialists and ex-space Nazis who fled to the Mars colony to escape the fascist regime. The first ever artificial intelligence is created from its earlier form used to break Enigma 2. It's nicknamed Geoff, and it really enjoys Genshin Impact. 2072, a portal to Hell is opened, and a militia is sent in to conquer the dimension. Construction of a massive thermal generator in Hell as a source of free energy begins. And in 2074, dogs become restless. 2076, cats are still assholes. 2077, Cyberpunk 2077 is released. This was written before that game came out. And in 2078, the dog rebellion begins. They are tired of man's hubris. Several large population centers are overrun. Martial law goes under effect in most provinces. Then Lucity decides to be an asshole and ends the dog rebellion in 2081. 2082, Shrek 5 is released. 2083, Minecraft 3 is released. 2085, Half-Life 3 is released. After the success of Half-Life 3, Valve decides to make a third installment of many of their franchises in 2086. Portal 3 is finally released. In 2087, with the resurgence of video game culture, Epic Games attempts to revive the Fortnite trilogy with Fortnite 4, which was a commercial flop. You thought the dog rebellion ended 8 years ago? Psych! In 2089, a small remnant of the dog rebellion summons Chester, a cosmic being of great power sent to free all of dog kind. Swiftly, Chester raptures all dogs into a dimension humans can't access. Okay, I feel like we can skip some of these, it's whatever. In 2093, a fleet of 14 unidentified ships are intercepted. They claim to be humans from Earth who survived the alien attack of 2057 and were left behind when the MOS took flight. Their ships utilize a mixture of human and stolen alien technology. After refusing to comply to further questioning, they return back, but remains patrolling along the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. In 2094, Dresser H. Walker is elected as the official head ambassador for the MOS. He begins campaigning for Prime Minister for the PATSOC, or Patriotic Socialist Party. 2095, Butterbells are now illegal. 2097, 4 of the 14 Earth ships begin departure from the asteroid belt. 2 MOS drones are sent behind them from a safe distance. The 10 left behind create an outpost on a large asteroid. And 2 years after that, the drones discover a colony of previous Earth dwellers has begun on Venus. Contact was then lost with the 2 spy drones, and 36 minutes later, a message from the Venus colony was received stating only the words, "So you finally returned." The Venus colony failed to respond to any of the 23 messages sent out by the MOS. And with the turn of the century, we are presented with another miscellaneous pop culture update. Advances in superfluous Planck fiber mechanics has given rise to a new type of computer. The technology is primitive at the moment, but has seen use amongst hobbyists, especially in the music world. One of the genres starting to become popular at this point is 10th Diabolic Neo-Hate. Hell is the new hot tourist destination, as years of using it as a means of producing thermal energy have left it slightly cooler. Walmart is filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The difference between video games and reality has become so blurred that people are becoming official citizens of games like Minecraft Q Edition, Patagon, Distantis 3, and Tetris. The last person to have participated in the invasion of Panama dies. Tons of people flood to simulated theaters to see how the fuck do you pronounce that? This new blockbuster film, Pent Up Nanners. Mickey Mouse is officially discontinued as Disney's mascot. The hottest thing in meme culture is black screens with nothing but Morse code and a small picture in the corner. Again. In 2106, the richest person in the world buys every major corporation that exists and combines them all into one mega corporation called IOTC. I actually asked Lucity what IOTC stands for, and it stands for I own the corporations. Then everything goes silent for a bit. The MOS and Mars colony continue to thrive, but after relative peace for about a decade and a half, in 2116, the unexpected happens. Dresser H. Walker is finally elected Prime Minister. His party seizes control of the government, and Dresser is made dictator of MOS. Using the full force of the military, he conquers the entire solar system, with the exception of Venus with the human colony. I assume they have some sort of pact, I don't know. And brings it under one name, the Galactic Dresser Empire. And who rises up to combat this tyranny? Well, in 2118, Boobtown, still Amish, starts their rebellion against the Galactic Dresser Empire. In 2121, all holidays are disbanded as seen as not important, and in 2122, the Amish people of Boobtown are persecuted and imprisoned by the GDE, and the GDE starts conquering neighboring star systems. In 2123, as if it couldn't get any worse, the GDE figure out faster than light travel. The galaxy is no match for the sheer power of the GDE. Their use of anomalous, interdimensional, and highly advanced weaponry and technology allows them to begin conquering the galaxy at an alarming rate. On top of that, they start using an army of nanobots to easily disassemble and reassemble matter at will. 2128. Rebellions are quickly squashed by the might of the GDE. Many are forced to accept their reign. The galaxy is 32% under control of the GDE. In 2129, the galaxy is 43% under GDE control. 2130, the galaxy is 69% under GDE control. 2131, Boob Town officially crumbles. 2132, the galaxy is 93% under GDE control. And in 2133, the entire Milky Way galaxy is under control of the GDE. The next target is the neighboring Andromeda galaxy. 2135, Dresser H. Walker is made immortal using the latest in life extension technology. Dresser starts looking for a way to grant himself even more power, and in 2138... Oh, and the worm makes a comeback, and all slang is outlawed as the government is supposed to be in full control of what people are allowed to say. Also more... 2139. Also, the GDE arrives at the Andromeda galaxy finally, but as they arrived, they made a troubling discovery. Andromeda is nowhere to be found. The location was correct, but the galaxy has completely vanished without a trace. On the way back to the GDE to report the news of Andromeda's mysterious disappearance, an unseen force destroys the entire fleet. Only a distress signal is able to make its way back to the GDE. However, Dresser H. Walker does not heed the warning of the crew members. Dresser begins studying the nature of the curse that allows beings like himself to exist. He figures if the curse is capable of destroying entire timelines, then it must be powerful enough to destroy whatever ate Andromeda. 2148, more galaxies start disappearing. 2145, the universe is cold and empty. But then, the tides begin to turn once again. In 2146, Dresser uses time travel to resummon the last cursed object, SpoonChase. Little did Dresser know that this was foretold in the prophecy, and Spoon was destined to bring an end to Dresser's tyrant rule and save the universe from what has become known as the Great Void. Dresser attempts to extract the power of the curse from Spoon and harness it in an ultimate superweapon. Spoon is not compliant, however, and manages to escape. Spoon manages to make it to the interstellar maximum security prison built into Pluto itself, using its core as a source of power. Spoon, being a Spoon, manages to break in undetected. His plan was to break out the most prominent and imposing criminals in the known multiverse and recruit them into a crew of space pirates. Among them were Dark Matterbeard, a ruthless space pirate captain who was said to have single-handedly wiped out the infamous S-30 crew, a group once feared across solar systems. Also recruited was Vanessa the Machine Tirade, the first ever person to successfully receive full cybernetic arm, leg, and spinal column replacements. And finally, Billy Fox, who robbed the T91 Royal Bank, the second largest bank in the Milky Way, using only a second-hand 2105 Chevy Cosmos and a ballpoint pen. He got away with $63 million and wasn't caught until 9 years after the heist. Spoon also managed to recruit 27 other less prominent criminals, including Slick Berwick, Glarg the Imposer, and Soft Willie. He also recruited some Amish folk from a place called Boobtown who appeared really keen on fighting for the cause. They escaped with a fleet of 14 repurposed prisoner-carrying ships, and a mothership being a stolen and repurposed heavy enforcement vessel. SpoonChase nicknamed her the Flying Utensil. A bounty on Spoon and his team is placed at $438 billion, the highest of any bounty to date. Bounty hunters from across the galaxy and the full force of the GDE's military begin looking for Spoon and his companions. Many, however, see them as saviors and do everything they can to help protect them. Among believers of the prophecy, Spoon and his crew become known simply as the Saviors. They go from parsec to parsec, pillaging GDE government institutions and promising to free the people of the galaxy and unite the universe against the Great Void. Large-scale rebellions break out throughout the entire Empire. Spoon and co. head back to Mars to face Dresser and his fleet. This is it. The showdown to end all showdowns. Spoon and co. begin approaching Mars. They devise a plan to infiltrate the GDE capital, assassinate Dresser, and end the GDE once and for all. They decide to employ a Trojan horse tactic. They maneuver the Flying Utensil within proximity of Mars and send a message that they are turning themselves in for the greater good of the universe. Dresser is all too happy to take the bait, and guides the Flying Utensil to the capital's criminal processing wing. Meanwhile, the larger fleet, led by Dark Matterbeard, waits near Venus, a place which the GDE to this day has not touched. As Spoon and Billy Fox begin to exit the ship, Vanessa quickly sets the engines to overheat and detonate within 20 minutes, and leaves after the others. They are split up, as they are led to their cells with the exception of Spoon, who is being transported to the extraction room. Billy Fox is led into a small prison cell, but before he can be locked up, he incapacitates the guards with one swift motion of his trusty ballpoint pen. He begins stealthily making his way to the history exhibit in the Capitol. Meanwhile, Vanessa is being taken to a different cell. She notices she's in a hallway with much less surveillance and springs into action. She effortlessly snaps both guards' necks. Noticing the commotion, a guard from around the corner steps out to confront Vanessa. Before she can deal with him, he sets off a security alarm that sends the Capitol into full lockdown. This turns out to be somewhat good news for Billy Fox, as with guards heading for the location of the alarm, he is able to easily sneak into the history exhibit. He locates the computer that was used to crack Enigma 2. He powers it on and uses it to disable the firewall protecting the security system. He then disables the force fields, protecting the exterior of the Capitol. Spoon at this point is being strapped into a loud machine in the extraction room. Okay, actually, you know what? Spoon, are you still there?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, of course I am.
Alright, perfect. So, you wrote this. So, I was just thinking, it'd probably make a little more sense to you, because I'm a little confused here. I don't really know what you're on about. I think you're... Okay, I'll be honest. I'll be real with you. I think you're crazy.
What do you mean? You're acting like this like this hasn't happened before. I mean, I was there. You do realize that, right? I was there.
What?
No, I'm from the future.
No,
you silly.
You're crazy. No.
Yeah, I'm from the future. Look, this is how it happened. There I was. I was in the room, the extraction room. Dresser called it the devil's machine. What I was in, he claimed it will convert me into pure chaos. Whatever that meant. It would allow him to harness the curse trapped within and direct its power at whatever he chose. I was not aware of this curse. When I learned that the curse is released, it destroys the whole universe, well, I knew assassinating Dresser was not an option. I had to change my plan fast. Originally, the ship was supposed to explode, setting off a chain reaction of sorts, whereby the ships would blow up, yada yada yada, and eventually blow up the facility's power supply. This would, once again, cause a chain reaction that blew up the whole facility, and we could make a daring escape. But this was no longer an option. I would need to do the unthinkable if I wanted to change the events set in motion. I knew that if I were to be dissolved into pure chaos, I would be filled with pure, unadulterated, chaotic energy. But I would also have the raw power of the curse at my disposal. I made up my mind, and with mere moments left before the ship detonated, I wriggled myself free and activated the machine before I was fully contained. I could feel the very essence of my being exposed to the world. I tried to remain focused, but chaos consumed my every thought. I was not Spoon anymore. I was chaos. Nothing but cursed, pure chaos. But somehow, out of the inky blackness of destruction, a coherent motive formed, as if a melody I hadn't heard since I was a child rang in the distance. A feeling of hope, a desire to end hopelessness. In true anime fashion, I, SpoonChase, now Chaos Incarnate, spread into every corner of the universe. I touched every star and atom. I felt the sorrows and hopes of all living things that had ever lived. And then I felt the great void. It was a glutton, spawned from the primordial curse, much like myself. I would kill two birds with one stone. I consumed Dresser into my own chaotic mass and braced myself against the void with all my might. And then, silence.
So you're basically like the fiber of the universe now or something.
Yeah, basically. I mean,